Should you soak garlic before you plant it? I'm seeing a lot of recommendations for doing this, and there are two sort of reasons for it. One is that we can soak the garlic in water and fertilizer and fish emulsion. That adds nutrients to the bulb, gets them to make roots faster and grow bigger. Does that really work? The second reason for soaking them is to get rid of some of the pests. And garlic have very few pests, but they're very serious. And a lot of them affect the bulb. Does soaking in a disinfectant get rid of these pests? Those are the questions I want to answer in this program. And it turns out that there may be a benefit in soaking your garlic. Let's have a closer look. Here are some of the claims for soaking garlic. Soaking in fertilizer allows the bulb to pick up moisture more quickly, which results in a larger root system before winter. The fertilizer in the water also helps root growth, resulting in larger bulbs at harvest time. Garlic has three major pest problems: fungus, mites, and nematodes. It is claimed that a soak in a disinfectant cures these problems. A variety of soaking solutions are suggested, including hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol, vodka, soap, baking soda, seaweed extract, and, of course, Epsom salt. Some claim that a soak in a warm solution is more effective than a cold one, and that repeated soaks are also more effective. Is there a difference between repeated soaks and a longer soak? The problem is that none of these claims comes with evidence to support them. Here are some other claims that are wrong. Soaking will protect them from diseases. The DIY solutions might kill a pathogen that is on the clove at planting time, but they won't protect the clove from infection after planting. Use of a systemic pesticide might if it is absorbed into the clove. Rubbing alcohol kills various types of nematodes. It will probably kill nematodes that are on the surface, but it does not eliminate the bloat nematode, which is the problem pest. Most nematodes are not pests, and in fact they eat pathogenic bacteria and fungi that might attack your garlic. So most nematodes are good for the garlics. What about the claim that soaking improved the flavor? Not very likely unless you soak it in rum and eat it right away. I found no evidence that commercial garlic growers in North America soak their garlic. Let's have a look at some of the other claims. Roots grow faster. Some claim that roots develop much faster after a soak, allowing the plant to root down and start on its growth cycle before winter sets in. I found no evidence that this is true, but it could be. Garlic indeed grows better and larger if it develops a good set of roots before winter. A simple way to accomplish this is to plant earlier than recommended. That gives the bulb time to develop a better root system. Soaking garlic in water. I only found one study done in Egypt that compared dry planting to a 12-hour water soak. Soaking resulted in a small increase in plant growth and bulb size. However, in this study, the germination rate for the cloves was very low at only 60%. On the other hand, mine is always near 100% without a soak. Soaking garlic in fertilizer. The above-mentioned study also compared a water soak to a soak in humic acid, both with a 12-hour duration, and found a very slight increase in plant growth and slightly better production of bulbs. A different study compared soaking in water with soaking in compost tea for either 12 or 24 hours. They found a slight increase in plant size and clove size for compost tea, and a longer soak was better than a shorter soak. The extra growth would be a result of the nutrients in the compost tea. And since a longer soak worked better, it indicates that cloves slowly absorb the nutrients in the soak. A couple of other tests also found a slight benefit to soaking in seaweed extract or synthetic fertilizer. I find it a bit odd that all of the studies I found for soaking garlic were done in Egypt, and that in at least one study, germination was poor. Perhaps the growing conditions in Egypt are such that extreme measures are needed to get a good crop. Based on the study results, it seems as if the cloves do absorb some of the water and probably nutrients in the water. In that case, a soak in any mixture that provides such nutrients should help the plant grow. However, there is no evidence that it provides a big advantage compared to dry planting. Soaking garlic to reduce fungus. White rot is a fungus known to attack garlic and onion, and it is the most important and destructive of the garlic fungal diseases. Studies have shown that soaking the cloves in tebuconazole reduced the disease, although solarizing the soil proved to be just as effective. A soak in a solution with fungicidal properties can be expected to kill fungus on the outside of the cloves. Things like a 10% commercial bleach solution, hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol, and vodka should be effective. Soap might dislodge fungal particles, but it is not a fungicide. Baking soda prevents germination of fungal spores on plant leaves, but it does not kill the fungus. Soaking garlic to get rid of mites. Two groups of mites can infest onion and garlic. Treating seed garlic with hot water at 130 degrees Fahrenheit or 55 degrees Celsius for 10 to 20 minutes before planting will reduce the mite population on the cloves, but it might also reduce germination. If you use this technique, make sure you get the water hot enough. Warm water is not much more effective than cold. It needs to reach a higher temperature. A soak in 2% soap plus 2% mineral oil for 24 hours will reduce mites. A dusting with sulfur also works. Proper drying before storage helps prevent a mite problem in the first place. Both the hot water treatment and the soap oil soak are part of the IPM procedure, so we know they work. Soaking garlic to kill nematodes. The garlic bloat nematode is a very serious garlic pest. Once it is in the soil, it takes years to get rid of it. Sterilizing the surface of cloves will not control the garlic bloat nematode. Treatment with ethoprop resulted in good control early in the season. Oxamil provided good control. Methomyl was ineffective. Treating the soil with aldicarb or phenamifos was also effective. It's important to use something that provides systemic control for a nematode soak. None of the DIY products listed above will work for nematodes. Is there a benefit in soaking garlic? Well, this one's not a complete myth. There has been some testing to see if soaks in fertilizer solutions, and there is some slight increase in yield. But I think this only works in places where the garlic's hard to grow and is not producing a good yield. I think for a backyard gardener, it's probably easier just to plant a couple extra cloves to increase your yield. You're not a farmer. You don't need really high yields. And there's no evidence that soaking is going to make a dramatic difference in the size of the garlic bulbs you get. What about controlling pests? I think this is one area where soaking may be beneficial. But before you think about soaking, make sure you actually have the pest you're trying to control, and then take steps to eliminate the pest. Never plant garlic that is not nematode-free certified. You're just asking for problems long term. I've been growing garlic for 30 years, and I know mine is nematode free because 30 years ago we didn't have nematodes. And I've never brought another bulb into my garden, so there are no nematodes. Mold can be eliminated fairly easily if you follow proper drying instructions. Grow, harvest, and dry your bulbs correctly, and quite honestly, most of these pests aren't an issue. But if you do have one, consider soaking the bulb. It may help. If you want to grow larger garlic bulbs, increase your yield. It's important to plant at the right time of year. And this video here will tell you all about that. Now that you know when to plant the bulbs correctly. And this video here will show you all about that. Happy gardening.